नमस्कार, स्वागतम सभी का इंडिपेंडेंट रिसर्च एथिक्स सोसाइटी, इमामी, झंडू, विश्व आयुर्वेद परिषद और आयुष दर्पण फाउंडेशन की ओर से मैं हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूं। आज जो यात्रा आप लोगों के बहुमूल्य सहयोग से हमने शुरू की थी, उस यात्रा का 176वां पड़ाव है। ये सब आप लोगों के हार्दिक आशीर्वाद के बिना संभव नहीं था। Thank you, thank you, thank you. On the dais, off the dais, really it is a great privilege for me that I am communicating my sentiments in 177th webinar of the journey. Now it is a milestone, and I hope all of you will bless us to make it 1000 by next year. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. So now I would like to request our inaugurator, Director of Central Ayurveda Research Institute, Kolkata, Dr. P.V.V. Prasad, to inaugurate the session and focus on what Ayurveda needs. We need actually justified focus, and what that should be. Please motivate us and motivate the society. Thank you. Welcome, Dr. Prasad. Welcome. Stage is yours.
Good evening, all of you. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, clearly.
A very good evening to all of the dignitaries and all the participants who are present here. At the outset, I would like to congratulate on this occasion of International Justice Day and the Independent Research Ethics Society for conducting this webinar, and all the associated dignitaries for taking up several webinars on these occasions, on all the occasions rather. Today's Ayush Samruddhi National Webinar is planned on the subject Ayurveda needs justified focus. On this occasion, I would like to invite all and congratulate today's distinguished speakers, Professor Surendra Chaudhary, Professor Vijay J. S. Jadavji, Dr. Pradeep Godkeji, and my congratulations and best wishes to our dear Dr. Pawan Kumar Sharmaji, who is a host and moderator for this program. I welcome you all to this program. We all know that justice delayed is justice denied. We have to agree that Ayurveda and Ayush systems are neglected since pre and post-independent India. There was lack of patronage by the governments in the past, but not the same thing at present with the present governments. For this, several reasons were there, which can count, as well as for this different reasons are there for this non-patronizing the Ayurvedic systems. British rule is the foremost reason for neglecting Ayurveda. As in the same Calcutta, Britishers have abolished the Sanskrit college in 1835 and established a modern medical college. That was the scene during the 19th century, early 19th century. History says Ayurveda is helping mankind since time immemorial. It is the part of the life of humans since ancient India and even today. So, but this Ayurveda or life science was neglected for centuries in the past due to lack of patronage by the different governments or kingdoms. But people have not forget the efficacy of Ayurveda. Only because of this fact, Ayurveda is still flourishing as a scientific medical system, not only in India, but also other countries as well. It is known fact that without patronage by the governments, it is very difficult to sustain of any system or any development. There are 914 colleges and 3,986 hospitals and 2,71,99 dispensaries and 13,87,539 physicians are available in India. The former Secretary, Department of Ayush, Srimati Shailaja Chandraji, IAS, was asked by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare during 2010 to submit a report on status of Indian systems and folklore claim healing. And she has submitted in two parts her report. Part 1 of the report was submitted in September 2011 and part 2 was submitted in February 2013. Part 1 deals with research and educational practice and also on public response to the Ayush systems. And part 2 deals with health seeking behavior of consumers, because consumers plays major role in this, any system to sustain. The government policies on integration as well. This part 2 contains related issues. All of us should read that report and get aware of the situation to strengthen our fight for justice to Ayurveda. Since 2014, the scenario has changed, as all of us know. Now we have separate Ministry of Ayush at central government. Our own Ayurveda Vaidyas as Honorable Secretary in the ministry, Dr. Rajesh Katochai. And there are several proposals for integration of medical systems in the past and in the recent times also. Hope it will happen, because the ultimate goal of any medical system is to deal with health and disease of the people. In my opinion, we have to agree that whatever cures the disease is called medicine. Option to select the system of medicine by the consumer should be left to him only. Future is bright for Ayurveda and its fraternity, but Ayurvedic physician should not take it granted. Ayurveda should be evidence-based science. This COVID-19 pandemic situation has given us some positive feedback and popularity is regained now. Efficacy is once again evidenced. Patronage is more than satisfactory to all the Ayurvedic fraternity, and we all have to utilize this opportunity to serve the public with Ayurveda for prevention and cure of the COVID-19. I hope future is very bright to Ayurveda if all of us contribute to our part and play a role. So with these words, I conclude my speech and declare that today's webinar, Ayurveda Needs Justified Focus, is open now. Thank you one and all. And my special thanks to Dr. Pawan Kumar Sharma ji, who is genuinely contributing to the cause of justice to Ayurveda, and for giving me this opportunity. Thank you and namaste.
Thank you, Dr. Prasad. Excellent, very motivational, inspiring speech, no doubt. Thank you again for inaugurating the session. Now I would like to request, thank you, Dr. Prasad. Now I would like to request Dr. Suren Chaudhary ji, मेरे बड़े भाई, और उनकी ख्याति में मैं क्या कहूँ, वो इतने प्रसिद्ध हैं, इतने विद्वान हैं कि उनकी ख्याति में मैं सूर्य को दिया दिखाने का साहस नहीं कर सकता हूं। आप कोर्ट ऑफ यूनिवर्सिटी के मेंबर हैं, नंबर 1। उसके साथ विश्व आयुर्वेद परिषद उत्तर प्रदेश के अध्यक्ष हैं, विश्व आयुर्वेद परिषद के राष्ट्रीय कार्यकारिणी में बहुत ज्यादा एक्टिव और मोटिवेशनल डिग्निटरी हैं। मैं उनका स्वागत करता हूं और उनसे आशीर्वचन की अपेक्षा रखता हूं। आदरणीय सुरेन चौधरी जी।
Namaskar to all. Thank you, Pawan ji, for providing me this wonderful platform to share my views. And I'm really thankful for you and Dr. Prasad, Dr. Madan ji, Dr. Sharma ji, and all other participants or attendees over here. May I share my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So today's
great sir. Topic बता लिया है sir. Great sir.
as Pavanji asked me to have some ideas about on the International Social Justice Day today. But just thinking about all speakers will speak about the justice and the focus, but my heartfelt feelings were that it is injustice to Ayurveda. So my title is just Injustice to Ayurveda on this Justice Day. And I will try to be concise within 25 minutes, which are allotted to me. And all my experiences will be shared over here in next few minutes are out of my personal agony, my personal feelings, and my personal experiences in the capacity of an Ayurvedic student, an Ayurvedic government employee, and post-retirement interaction with intellectuals like Madanji, Pavanji, and industry itself. So when we talk about what type of injustice and what are the factors who did this injustice to Ayurveda, so I just categorize in this table. There are few factors like injustice from government side, that may be central or the state government. Another major factor, we ourselves as the Ayurveda fellows, the general public, the scientific fraternity, media, print or digital, the manufacturers of Ayurvedic drugs, and there are certain hidden factors also, including our fellow allopaths, regulators, and authorities. So I will try to focus on concise factors of injustice to Ayurveda by all these stakeholders. As far as the government is concerned, as Dr. Prasad aptly said, that government is not patronizing Ayurveda since independence. Before independence, we were in a state of uncontrolled situation. So there is no point to discuss those days. But after independence, government was not very patronizing towards Ayurveda, or we can say we are not getting our share which we deserve. We are always looking after that Ayurveda should be actively part of the national health delivery system, which is not. There are so many reports, so many delegates, so many high power committees were constituted to look after the role of Ayurveda in the main healthcare delivery systems. There were so many commissions in the name of health commissions. And you will surprised to know that apart one or two maximum health commissions, they highly recommended that Ayurveda should be one of the main health delivery system in India, but no one cares for that. Again, it was the time of, I think, 2005, where National NRHM was constituted, National Rural Health Mission. And the second part of that mission was mainstreaming of Ayush. And Ayurveda is the main part of Ayush. So if I say Ayurveda, so it may reflect some sort of Ayush itself. The mainstreaming of Ayush was really, if you go through the document, it's a wonderful document. But with the apathy of the central government as well as the state government, the mainstreaming was never done. Our graduates were used as the second grade citizen in their setups. Ayush graduates were supposed to recruited for particularly treating the patients with their Ayurvedic specialties, but they were supposed to attend and distribute allopathic medicines only. So this is the sorry state from the government side or the government schemes. Again, a lot of injustice is being done even today in the name of disparities in selection of the medical officers or other manpower in the name of postings, salary in Ayurvedic medical officer or centrally sponsored schemes like RBSK. I will like to cite one or two examples over here that in Ayush mission or the recruitment is done at the rate of 9,000 to 25,000 to 40,000 per month. It's not similar everywhere. While the counterpart of allopathy people, they are being provided at least with the 60,000 per month. And the RBSK, which is the Rashtriya RBSK is the scheme, flagship scheme for pediatric health by the is fully sponsored by the central government, and a lot of Ayurvedic graduates are being recruited in this scheme. And you will surprised to know that what salary or the package they are being provided is just a mere 25,000, and that is not in every state. There are some states where less than 25,000 are being provided. So it is the injustice given by the state government or the authorities. Another point of concern is absence of policies for medical legal issues, which is the matter of state government. Suppose I'm an Ayurvedic surgeon and I want to operate some good type of surgery. So there is always a very big question whether I'm allowed to perform such type of surgeries or not. So there is no clear-cut guidelines ever in India. Nowhere in India is being framed. So it's a quite injustice. There are a lot of lists where government apathy is clearly visible. Lot of apathies. Even I was surprised. I was talking with one of my friend in Rajasthan, Jaipur. There are two colleges. One is Jodhpur, another one is Udaipur. Both are under the state government, and you will surprise there is a lot of salary difference in between two government colleges. So these are some important points where government, state or central government, yes, as Dr. Prasad said, the changes are evident since 2014 and particularly for last 2-3 years, but they are not enough. We have to, as Dr. Madanji, we were discussing before starting of this session, we have to push forward very, very aggressively to save Ayurveda. And COVID-19 outbreak was such a silly example of being sidelined by the government. As you may remember that during the first wave of COVID outbreak, no Ayurveda physician was allowed even to touch the patient. The Pandemic Act was empowered, and Pandemic or Endemic Act, it says that if there is any patient or patient having symptoms resemble to the disease, they have to report to the state authorities. There were no clear-cut guidelines about even the private labs or the government labs. They were not entertaining for RT-PCR referred by an Ayurvedic physician. So this was the very, very painful injustice given by the government. Role of Ayurveda and role of state and central government in dealing with the COVID-19. Even in this, we are hoping for the third wave, but even there are certain state government which are just having the kadha distribution only. This is a very sorry state. And I had an opportunity to interact with the UP government CM, Sri Yogi Adityanath ji, for 3-minute session. And I request Chief Minister, sir, to please don't put Ayurveda in the bracket of distribution of the kadhas only. Do some concrete work. Allow or start Ayurvedic specialty COVID hospitals in every state, but legally it was not there. Apathy towards ICMR and all other institutions. They don't have that kind of honor, or they don't accept our research work at par with their counterparts. So it's great injustice being done by all these government machineries. Ayurveda fraternity. I can say the government has a very doing very injustice in a very big way, but we as Ayurvedic physicians or the Ayurvedic fraternity, we are also are the part of this injustice being done to Ayurveda. Ayurveda, most of the states, Ayurvedic physicians, they are not doing Ayurveda practices. It is a very sorry state, and it is very truth. Ayurveda practice is the second preferences. They are starting their allopathic practice just to say that it's commonly accepted or like anything, but it is a hard-hitting fact that we Ayurveda people more than 70% prefer not to practice Ayurveda in first place. Maximum, most of the Ayurvedic fraternity people, if I say it, please pardon me because this is not for particular person, it is in general, we are lacking our self-esteem. There are so many factors, and even 1 hour or 2 hour can be discussed about why we have a very low self-esteem. We are providing free consultation. This is a very strange thing. How a qualified professional can provide consultancy free of course in general? What we are doing, we are distributing our medicines or we are the prescribing physicians, and we say that we are not taking any consultancy. It's not a good idea because it goes against us. So every intelligent citizen, he knows that no consultancy can be given free. It means doctor is charging medicine value, including his consultancy. So we have to stop this. Secondly, we are very much in practice to provide free consultancy everywhere, over the telephone, on internet, on social media, or in even large gathering. So Ayurveda is not so cheap. We must have some standard. We must have some self-esteem that we are not supposed to say, just use it, you will be fine within 5 minutes or 10 minutes. We are lacking multi-specialty setups or super specialty clinics. Or it's another side of this. Every physician is supposed to be declared or self-declared that I'm a super specialist. I'm treating cancer. I'm treating this disease. I'm treating that disease. So both of these points are not good for Ayurveda. Lack of referral mechanism. Again, it is a very big issue because we don't have super specialty or specialty clinics. Suppose I'm anorectal surgeon. I'm not getting regular referrals from my fellow physicians. If I'm an anorectal surgeon, I'm not referring my patients for rheumatic disorders to my fellow friends. So total collapse of referral practices. And mind it, any medical system can develop up to the highest level if they have some professional ethics about the referral practices. Most of our stakeholders or Ayurveda fraternity people, they are lacking information about the latest development in their field and informations. Even many of our fellow physicians, they are not aware about what is Ayush stands for, what is CCR stand for. So these are my personal experiences with the interaction with different, whether they are academicians, medical officers, private practitioners. So most of them, they are lacking about the latest information in the field of Ayurveda. And another sorry state or the injustice we are doing towards our system is that our young graduates, they are running towards these RMOs or casualty medical officers in allopathic hospitals. What they are doing there, they are being trained to manage ICUs. Yes, you can get some knowledge or experience about all these high-end machines, but believe me, they are never be used in your clinic. Yes, you can do these internship like things for a year or two, but I know more than 100 Ayurvedic graduates who are in allopathic hospitals getting 25,000 to 75,000 rupees salary per month for last 10 years or so. So they are ruining their Ayurveda life. Again, our graduates, they are going for these part-time jobs, whether it is RBSK or leprosy department or Ayush mission. So we are not doing justice to our system by applying all these things. General public, they have faith in Ayurveda because Ayurveda in their genes, but they don't have faith in Ayurvedic physicians. They can ask, sir, कोई काढ़ा बता दीजिए, it's enough. If he start charging something, they will say, sir, इसके भी पैसे लेंगे आप? ये तो हमें वैसे ही मिल जाता है. So they don't have that kind of faith in Ayurvedic physicians. Yes, for last 1.5 month, it changes a lot. Now Ayurveda physicians are being searched over the internet or by mouth. Self-medication, our general public is doing very dent to the Ayurveda about the self-medications because they are not aware whether the medicine they are taking, for how many days they have to take, at with what are the doses, what is the anupan, and up to how long. And the result is that people, they are looking that Ayurveda is harming their liver, their kidney, or any system of the body. Again, the public is not taking medicine by themselves. Even they are providing consultancy to the fellow family members or relatives or anyone. अरे ये कुछ नहीं होता, ये खा लो, इससे बिल्कुल ठीक हो जाओगे. Even they claim that COVID can be treated by drinking this type of medicine only. So all these factors are really denting Ayurveda very hard. The public is hesitating if I say that I'm charging 750 rupees for a consultancy. So they are very reluctant about paying 750 rupees. While our counterpart, if they go to them, they can easily offer 1500 rupees for the same type of consultancy. And one more thing, there is a report in today's Amar Ujala or like that, some self-help group, they are starting collecting herbs and mixing them and selling them as medicine, and 44 lakhs worth of medicine was sold during this second wave of COVID. I think this is not a good practice. We don't know whether they are selling those medicine without manufacturing license or not, but there are so many instances. You can go anywhere in city or in towns where you can find so many unauthorized preparations having herbomineral ingredients selling without any license. So these are the things which common public is doing injustice to Ayurveda. Scientific fraternity. You know well that allopathy medicine is the outcome of physics, chemistry, and information technology, nothing else. Any imaging instrument is being developed by the core scientific field of science like physics or the chemistry with the integration of information technology. So these pure scientific fraternity, I don't know why and how it started, but yes, they don't have any integration with Ayurveda. But it is a good part that now the thing is going is slightly changed towards, and so many pure science scientists, they are looking towards Ayurveda. Like food technology, we have a large number of recipes for the treatment of different ailments, but no food technologist ever think that whether it is possible to serve these recipes as food supplement to the diseased person so that they may be recover faster, or they may be go somewhere where you cannot get the disease forever. Again, information technology. We are, yes, now the Ayush Grid is the very flagship program of Ayush, and a lot of information technology is being integrated with Ayurveda. The manufacturers. Pavanji is one of the stakeholder of this injustice towards Ayurveda. Most of the pharmacies, they don't have quality, in-house quality control. Even for the basic test like the pH, the disintegration time, they don't have such type of facilities in their premises. Quality awareness are another one more big question, where there is a cluster of pharmacies or the manufacturer units in Aligarh. There are more than 200 manufacturers spreading over just 100 kilometers radius. I visited 4 or 5 pharmacies over there and visited more than 50 manufacturing units during my government tenure. And most of them, they were in a very sorry state. So these pharmacies which don't have any quality control, or even they don't have any intention to upgrade about the quality control. They even know about the, yes, they all know the GMP, good manufacturing practices, but they never hear this GLP, what is good laboratory practices, what are good agriculture practices, good storage practices, far, far away for such type of manufacturers. DMR Act, Drug and Magic Remedies Act. In fact, the full form of this DMR Act is Drug and Magic Remedies bracket Objectionable Advertisement Act, where no one can advertise to treat certain diseases. I'm not going whether those diseases are curable by the Ayurveda or not, but advertisement is being done every day. You just pick up the local newspaper, particularly in local language, and more than 10-20 such type of advertisements are being displayed every day. Our medicines are being treated as OTC, over the counter. No prescription is required, no selling license is required. So all these are the factors which are not in favor of growth of Ayurveda. One more point, that is MRP. There is no rule, there is no calculating method what should be the MRP of a particular drug. If I try to cite the example of Ayushquat, which has the standard formulation approved by the central government, one manufacturer, they are selling their product 100 gram Ayushquat for 85 rupees to 115 rupees. While there are certain manufacturers who are selling this Ayushquat 100 gram for 299 rupees. And there are certain manufacturers who are selling the same product with 499 grams or 99 rupees for the same 100 gram of packing. So there must be some regulations how you can fix the MRP, or if you are going for a higher MRP, then there must be some justification. What is the negative impact of these things? When Ayushquat get popularity, everyone, particularly the literary population of India, they start reading what are the ingredients. And they say, oh, all these ingredients are within our reach. So why they are being charged so heavily? So this is the negative impact of such thing. Another one is rebate and online sale. It's harming like anything. I'm just citing one example. If I'm providing a prescription having Yogaraj Google, and the patient, the MRP of Yogaraj Google, suppose, is 100 rupees, and I charge 95 rupees with the pretext that I'm providing 5 rupees rebate to you. All of a sudden, during these particular corona period, the supply expires and he was not able to get in touch with me. So what people trying? They are searching that particular product online. When they search that product online and they surprised to know that the product which Dr. Chaudhary charged at the rate of 95 rupees is available just for the 60 rupees. What was the impact? That a doctor is cheating us. So it is a breach of trust by the manufacturers. Media. Undoubtedly, media is very prejudiced towards Ayurveda. They avoid Ayurvedic news. They propagate anti-Ayurveda news like anything. And you know well why all these media houses are doing such type of practices. Unauthorized material on Facebook, YouTube, because nowadays everyone is on YouTube or Facebook and they start searching what is the treatment of rheumatoid arthritis, how can get rid of my spine pain. And if there is no parameter, there is no meter or no equipment to know whether the information provided by the YouTube channel is authentic or not. So there must be some restrictions, some regulations. I don't know how it can be. The only thing then after going through all these unauthorized, unethical things, or so I started my own YouTube channel. And the thought of that channel is just to provide the most authentic information to the public. Some hidden factors which I put in my first slide, that local authorities, there are certain things where general people, they go to the Ayurvedic physicians in the impression that they are authorized to sign certain um, attestation or authorization. Like if we want to go for a learning license or the renewal of the driving license, then there is a medical document required for that. As per the government rules, an Ayurvedic doctor is authorized to sign or authorized to forward the medical certificate for driving license. But it again depends upon the regional transport officers. And most of the regional transport officers, they frame a committee of doctors or group of doctors exclusively allopath people. So it again depends upon the local authorities. Bio-waste management agencies, again, because we don't have such kind of bio-waste in comparison to the allopathic hospitals. So they are avoiding us. They are charging the thing which are not supposed to charge. IRDA, although for last 3-4 years, insurance coverage is good enough and we are getting some reimbursement medical bills from the different insurers. So, but professional indemnity again is a big question, and surprisingly, very few private practitioners, they are aware about the professional indemnity. And there is a huge gap about the terms and conditions applicable to Ayurvedic physicians. Again, the banks. If you go to a bank for our professional loans, that I want to start a clinic or I want to start a daycare center. So there are different type of rules for Ayurvedic physicians and different kind of rules for the allopathic physicians, because we don't have that kind of amount to be deposited or to give them some guarantee. Local health authorities, they also behave in a very absurd way or in a very insulting way sometime to the Ayurvedic fraternity, whether it is CMO, as a district magistrate, or even the subdivisional magistrate. And the last one is political patronage. As Dr. Prasad say, we are lacking political patronage, which is quite visible even during this COVID era. There are certain state governments who are promoting other system of Ayush, but not Ayurveda. I'm not naming any state government, but yes, you know well why they are doing. They linked Ayurveda. I don't know why Ayurveda is being linked to a particular party. So political patronage is a thing. राजाश्रय जिसको नहीं मिला वो पद्धति नहीं गई. So this is the major and important part that political patronage should be in favor of. And now we are in a position to get such type of patronage. Thank you very much. I don't know whether I exceed the time limit or not, but there were so many things to discuss. Thank you again, Pawanji, for giving me this opportunity. Thanks a lot.
मैस्मराइजिंग सर, मैस्मराइजिंग। मालूम नहीं पड़ा टाइम कब खत्म हो गया। आपने जो कहा वो ऐसा एक सत्य है, जैसे वो आचार्य सुशील जी कड़वे वचन बोलते थे ना, आपने बड़ी मिठास में ये सब बोला है। ग्रेट 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 सर, ये हम लोगों को जरूर सोचना ही होगा, आज या कल जरूर सोचना होगा, और तभी आयुर्वेद का उद्धार होगा। ये बात बिल्कुल सही है। ग्रेट सर, ग्रेट, मैस्मराइजिंग, इंस्पायरिंग and motivational, no doubt. Thank you sir.
Thank you.
Now I would like to request Professor Vikrant Vijay Jadhav जी, अब तक मेरी आवाज पहुंच रही है? विजय जाधव जी, डॉक्टर विजय जाधव, डॉक्टर विजय जाधव जी, अब तक मेरी आवाज पहुंच रही? काइंडली अनम्यूट योरसेल्फ। डॉक्टर जाधव जी, काइंडली अनम्यूट योरसेल्फ।
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, clearly. Again off. Again unmute, please. Yes.
Hope I am audible.
Yes, you are audible.
Myself, I am Vijay Shankar Jadhav. I have done my MD Rashashastra from Pune University, and the subject allotted to me today is Ayurveda needs justified focus. The previous very much senior authority and a senior eminent personnel has dealt with all the details in the way of medicine, how it is given, how many obstacles there are, and what kind of these obstacles are supposed to be concerned. Dr. Pawanji, when I had a discussion with you, that I told you that a person being from Rashashastra, should I discuss something on the medicinal aspect? So you said that we will have a big session next time when we'll deal with the medicine. But there is no issue. Respectable Dr. Surendra Chaudhary, a very senior person to me in this field of Ayurveda, in the field of allopathy, in the field of Ayurveda medicine. He is President Vishwa Ayurveda Parishad and a very big dignitary in Ayurveda. I think on this platform of today, I am supposed to be the more junior person sitting here and talking. But being from an academic field of Ayurveda, I thought that I should discuss something which needs justification, focus on Ayurveda, on the point of Ayurveda education. So I am trying to share some of my thoughts, some of my points, which I want to share, which we are suffering nowadays in the field of Ayurveda academic. I would like to just have a brief division of what I want to share. The first thing is education. The second is research, and the third is clinical practice. So I'll try to be very precise, because I know I have a very less time to speak on all these subjects. But education, research, and clinical practice, according to me, I am going to very briefly say something about each and every of these 3 points, which I see, which I have faced, or which I have been learning in so many days in Ayurveda. So when we are talking about education in Ayurveda, and when it needs justice, which needs justified, so Ayurveda education, which is presently provided to the students is not provided in a specific way or in a specific manner or in a specific way of teaching. The thing is that in education, basically any science of medicine, it might be Ayurveda, it might be allopathy, it might be anything which deals with human health is medicine. I don't say that Ayurveda only is a system of medicine which will deal and which will rule out all the difficulties of the patient, but this has to be an joint effort from all the medical fraternity when we are treating a patient, when we are treating a problem, when we are treating anything. So in this education point of view, I want to very clearly tell you that nowadays type of education or nowadays the BMS course or the course which we are going undergraduate level, in the first year, it consists of the fundamental principles of Ayurveda. Now, why fundamental of any science are needed? Fundamentals of any science are needed is that because that typical or that specific system of medicine is based on the fundamentals which has not been very clearly emphasized or described in our system of medicine. We say, for example, Nidra, we say Brahmacharya, fine. But a person who has done his 12th standard, that is after 10th standard, he has done 2 years, 11th and 12th, where he has learned physics, chemistry, and biology. And when he comes to the first year, this fundamental principle appears to him a very empirical. But to tell you very frankly, in a short duration of my teaching period, I have come to know that each and every sentence mentioned in the book, mentioned in the Samhita, or mentioned everywhere in Ayurveda reference is totally based on physics, chemistry, and biology. And then therefore we are not able to teach our students the fundamentals of Ayurveda, which is supposed to be the need of the hour. The second point where I come here, research. So what is research? People are doing research at various forms, but I tell you very frankly, the research carried out in Ayurveda system of medicine is at a very young stage. So this young stage should be justified by doing research in Ayurveda in a very good and nice manner. Example, as a Shastra person, I will tell you that if I am going to prepare Suvarna Bhasma traditionally, it will take me at least 3 months to prepare Suvarna Bhasma. But then too, if I take a help of an technological person who is a nanotechnologist, I can prepare this Suvarna Bhasma in 3 hours. Then it is the research that when we are following this kind of principles in research, we have to have a multidisciplinary research in Ayurveda, which will help to enhance the knowledge of ourselves. Second more example, see, we are facing endangered things. We are facing endangered species, which we are not getting in the market. Say around about 8th or 9th of this month, there was an article in Times of India saying that Guduchi, Giloy, is harmful to the liver and it causes toxicity in the liver. I would like to very humbly tell you that Professor Dr. Mrs. Sharduni Dhanekar madam, who was a professor of pharmacology in GS Ayurveda Medical College, Mumbai, late, spent 20 years of her time in only doing research on Guduchi. So when a person from the modern faculty can come and do research on an Ayurveda drug for 20 years, and suddenly someone comes with a sample size of 2 or 3 and patients and directly tells that Giloy is hepatotoxic. So we are lacking research in this form of pattern. Clinical practices, my next point. What is clinical practice? Everyone. You go, you see multimedia, you see Facebook, you see Instagram and everything. Tall claims. COVID can be cured. COVID can be cured. It is very curable. I saw 4 patients. I gave him this drug. I gave him that drug. No, these are tall claims. while doing clinical practice, you have to do clinical practice in a proper way, and you have to present your records. I don't say that a clinician can be a good researcher, but at least the clinician who is doing practice in his practice should at least come forward in the society and share his thoughts, share his mind, share things which are full of utility to the people. Because nowadays they are making a chaos. Every faculty is coming and they are fighting. Every faculty is coming and fighting. Every faculty is coming and fighting. This can't be research. So when we are talking about justice to our science, specifically Ayurveda medical science, it will be in these three forms. And the first form is the clinical form. Until and unless we don't establish ourselves in a well clinical way, we will not face the world. See, the Chinese traditional medicine, they went to the world. They went to the world and they told the world how their medicines are good. They did not justify, they did not ask anyone justification. But whatever they did, whatever they are doing, or whatever the system of medicine they are practicing, they have tried to explain it to the world in the language. We call Arogya Vardhani, for example. We tell Medhara and very these things. But can't these all things be said scientifically? It can be said scientifically. So until and unless we come out with our scientific knowledge, how can we say that our clinical research is complete? So bringing Ayurveda in the mainstream, every time when we deal with Ayurveda, we deal with Ayurveda medicine, we deal with Ayurveda physicians, we deal with students, we deal with teachers, everyone comes to a common agenda that government should do something. So this is totally wrong, what I say. I may be offending some people by saying this word, but bringing Ayurveda in the mainstream is a total responsibility of the government as well as the physicians, the researchers, the fellow peoples who are working in the cause of Ayurveda. People should be given proper choice to select the pathy of their choice. Now, we are talking about Ayush 64, which is supposed to be the best medicine. But can anyone tell me, is it easily available in the market? It is not easily available in the market. So how can I tell a patient that you go buy Ayush 64, it will cure COVID? No, because we have only declared, but the availability of this drug is not there in the market. So this should be taken care by the government and also by the doctor who is practicing it. My previous author said that a single medicine is sold for 1 rupee also, it is sold for 10 rupees also, it is sold for 100 rupees also, and it is sold for 200 rupees also. So why this is the difference? The difference is because a traditional way of treating, we don't have terms, we don't have rules, we don't have regulations, we don't have anything which binds Ayurveda medicine. And in this phase, we are also responsible for this kind of thing. Only blaming the government will not do that. We are ordering Mahavat Vidvans from a chemist or from a distributor, which comes in the 1,000 rupees per kg. There is another distributor who is giving you Mahavat Vidvans in 100 rupees. So why does this price differ? This price differ because we are not regulated, we are not supervised by the rule of the government, and that should be done. And this is the justice what we can do to our science. Let government declare. Should government declare? Government should declare that Ayurveda system is a medical system. It is the oldest known system in the history, and it is. And हम सिर्फ कहते हैं जब हम क्लास में जाके पढ़ाते हैं आयुर्वेद अनादि अनंत शाश्वत. But what is this anadi? What is this shaswat? So this shaswat should be told by our government. Now also today in the present scenario, government says that Ayurveda is an alternative system of medicine. In my view of opinion, this should be avoided. And to do good practices, to treat patient, to treat various medical problems. Say right now we are facing through a very severe pandemic, and that pandemic is COVID-19. And what we are doing? Allopaths are blaming us. We are blaming allopaths. Homeopaths are blaming us. Everyone is blaming everyone. So at the national level, why don't we form a committee, a task force, rather than to recent pandemic like COVID, including experts from all fields. They should be from Ayurveda, they should be allopathy, they should be homeopathy, they should be from Siddha, they should be from Unani, they should be of any faculty of medicine. What is the definition of medicine? Definition of medicine to a simple person or simple student, like it's very, very simple, that any system of medicine which gives relief to the patient is that system. Might be anything. So to avoid this, we have to have a task force at national level, not only for COVID, but for everything, to avoid unwanted debates, unwanted criticism, unwanted everything. Everyone is just blaming. Everyone is just blaming, but no one is coming to a certain point where it has to be dead, which it has to be said that we'll come together and we'll work together. Say, if I am a person from Dravyagur, if I don't find Ashoka, I need help of a botanist who can give me a tissue culture and give me Ashoka in 3 months. So why should I refuse to take help of a person who is dealing with botany, who is dealing with chemistry? In Sushrut itself, Ekam Shastram is said, and that Ekam Shastram has to be elaborated in this present condition. Coming to the next point, central government should establish territory hospitals with integration to encourage all pathies with equal opportunities and right to work for treating patient. Why don't we come with hospitals? Why don't we come with territory hospitals where every faculty will be there, where every faculty will help each other, where every faculty will cooperate with everything, every faculty will work for the mankind, every faculty will work for the mankind and to remove disease in this world. I say Anadi Ananta Shashwat Ayurveda always, because say around about 60 years before when penicillin was discovered, all the people in the medical world thought that we have taken all the disease and now there will be no disease. But my dear friends, we are coming in the 6th generation of antibiotics. So this is the limitation of a science. I don't blame any science, but there are limitations to every science. Ayurveda can be a adverse policy, a complementary policy, and also it can be a full type of treatment given to a patient. So we should have social justice in the society. Ayurveda practitioners should have justice. The meaning of justice here is that he should be given opportunity. He should be given ways of treating patient. He should be trusted. He should be trusted by the Gram Panchayat. He should be trusted by the Jilla Parishad. He should be trusted by the state government. He should be trusted by the central government. And until and unless he is not justified, he will not give you good result. Then too, people are doing their best. I will tell you, the maximum doctors who have worked in this pandemic are BMS doctor. I stay in Pune. I belong in Pune. I am a teacher from last 29 years. I have seen that all the multinational hospitals in Pune, neither it be an ICU and super ICU, everything is handled by Ayurveda graduates. So why we don't teach them in the college? We teach them the syllabus. We teach them only syllabus. We don't teach them what are the other types of investigations, what other things are going on. You only just say that allopathy has developed. No pathy or no system has been developed. The development in every faculty and every pathy is only seen, and that what we are seeing is the totally improvement in physics, chemistry, and biology. But we don't go and tell our students to do this. Very beautiful point. When I was asking some of my friends that I am supposed to give a small talk, very elaborate and very eminent person, they said that consultation charges what Ayurveda physician receives is very less compared to the pathy. Now, this is a totally debatable subject. I don't want to debate this, but then too, there is a imagination in Ayurvedic physician's mind that he is always less paid for the treatment that he gives. That is his matter, that is the patient's matter, but then too, this point should be taken care of. Now, in the present scenario, which we are facing due to
Sir,
Ayurveda,
kindly wind up within 5 minutes. Time is over. Hari Om. Am I audible to you, Dr. Jadhav?
yes, sir, I'm audible to you. I have taken a lot of time. I had many points to mention, but you had told me that I could speak.
No,
Yeah.
no
That-
problem, no problem. Please wind up in 5 minutes.
No,
No
winding up is that, sir, it can't be winded. And sir, I'm extremely sorry if I've taken more time. Only an acknowledgement to you for giving me such a beautiful opportunity to share my views with you. And this is acknowledgement for my institute where I work. So there are only their names. I'm not going to read it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I'm extremely sorry if I've taken your more time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Sorry for interruption because one speaker is left. Sorry, doctor. Thank you very much. Great. Excellent. Without presentation also, your inspiring and motivational speech definitely provided energy to us. Thank you, Dr. Jadhav.
I'm grateful to you.
Now I would like to request Dr. Pradeep Ghodke, Vaidya Pradeep Ghodke, sorry, from Gwalior, founder of Nidhanam Ayurveda and Physiotherapy Kendra, Dr. Vaidya Vijay Pradeep Ghodke. Am I audible to you, Vaidya Pradeep Ghodke ji? Please unmute yourself.
अनम्यूट कर दिया सर। आ रही है आपको मेरी आवाज?
हाँ जी, हाँ जी।
हेलो, हाँ, आना चालू हुई? ठीक है।
हाँ जी,
हाँ,
हाँ जी।
मीटिंग में उपस्थित सभी महानुभावों को एवं सुनने वाले महानुभावों को मेरा नमस्कार। आयुर्वेद के उत्थान के लिए पवन शर्मा जैसे डॉक्टर्स लोग जो 3 पीढ़ियों से आयुर्वेद के लिए कुछ करना चाहते हैं, ऐसे ही लोग जब होंगे तभी आयुर्वेद का जो है कुछ कल्याण होगा। मैं डॉक्टर सुरेंद्र जी चौधरी जी को नमस्कार और नमन करता हूं और उनके द्वारा बताए हुए सारे तथ्य एकदम 100% सत्य है। कारण मैं भी 3 पीढ़ियों से विशुद्ध आयुर्वेदिक कंसल्टेशन का काम कर रहे हैं और जो प्रॉब्लम्स हमको आती है वो रूबरू हमारे आदरणीय चौधरी जी ने मेरे को बताई हैं। सबसे पहले उनका एक मैं बताता हूं, उन्होंने कहा कि 70% लोग आयुर्वेद के जो है एलोपैथिक प्रैक्टिस करते हैं, लेकिन सर फॉर योर काइंड इंफॉर्मेशन 90 मोर देन 90% पीपल्स दे डू प्रैक्टिस इन द एलोपैथी। और हमारे आयुर्वेद के लिए हमारे पैरों पे खुद हम पत्थर पटक रहे हैं, दूसरे कुछ नहीं कह रहे। दूसरी बात आपने जो कहा कि फ्री कंसल्टेशन, बहुत ही सही बात। प्रत्येक दुकानदार, एक दुकान के ऊपर एक डॉक्टर बैठा हुआ है जो आपको निःशुल्क चिकित्सा दे रहा है। अरे भाई, आपको पेंशन मिल रही है सरकार के द्वारा, आपको 50-50, 60-60 हजार रुपए पेंशन मिल रही है, फिर भी आप जस्ट टू गेट सम बेनिफिट फ्रॉम द केमिस्ट यू आर गोइंग टू केमिस्ट शॉप एंड सिटिंग ऑन द स्टूल आउटसाइड ऑफ द काउंटर। और उसके बाद में मतलब दिस इज वेरी बैड। मैं आपसे सर, मैं आपकी सारी बात सुन के बहुत ही ज्यादा प्रभावित हूँ कि जस्टिफिकेशन आयुर्वेद के साथ में आयुर्वेदिक डॉक्टर्स ही करेंगे ना। आयुर्वेदिक डॉक्टर अगर नहीं अपनी खुद की महत्ता को, मैं यहाँ पर कंसल्टेशन का काम करता हूँ, 500 rupees I used to charge as an consultation. I am not dispensing anything. I am not giving single thing from my clinic. Only the thing give the prescription. So मैं आपकी बातों से बहुत ही भयंकर प्रभावित हूँ और कुछ मैं अपने भी एक्सपीरियंसेस आपको बता रहा हूँ जो मेरे को अभी तक मिले हैं। आपने कहा सरकार को चाहिए कि आयुर्वेद के अंदर रिसर्च होना चाहिए, आयुर्वेद को प्रोत्साहन दे। सर, हर कॉलेज के अंदर, मेरी आवाज आ रही है ना पवन जी वहां तक? पवन जी, मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
हाँ जी, क्लियर एंड लाउड।
हाँ जी। हाँ, सरकार को चाहिए कि आयुर्वेद के अंदर रिसर्च होना चाहिए, इसके लिए प्रोत्साहन दे। हर कॉलेज के अंदर एक रिसर्च डिपार्टमेंट होता है, लेकिन आज तक क्या रिसर्च हुआ वो हमें तो पता नहीं लगा। अब कब पता लगेगा वो आई डोंट नो। कागजों में सब काम चल रहे हैं। पेटेंट औषधियों के डोजेस थेरापेटिक होना चाहिए। ऐसा नहीं कि उन्होंने कहा लिव 52 बना दिया, 52 इंग्रेडिएंट्स उसके अंदर डाल दिए, ना तो कालमेक का पूरा डोज है, ना कुटकी का पूरा डोज है। इट इज नॉट लाइक दैट। मेरे ये इट इज माय व्यूज, इट इज नॉट नेसेसरी विद किसी कंपनियों के ऊपर दोषारोपण नहीं है मेरा। जिन कंपनियों को मैन्युफैक्चरिंग लाइसेंस दिया जाता है उनको उनकी लैब और सारे पैरामीटर सरकार की गाइडलाइन के अनुसार होना चाहिए। ऐसा नहीं कि उन्होंने कागजों में बैठ के घर पे ही उन्होंने डिस्ट्रिक्ट ऑफिसर ने चेक कर दिया और वो दे दिया। इट शुड बी, हमें खुद को ये करना पड़ेगा, तब जाके काम चलेगा। सरकार की गाइडलाइन के अनुसार होना चाहिए। आयुर्वेद में पहले इंजेक्शन आते थे, याद करो आपको, जे डिशन कंपनी का एक डाइसिन नाम का इंजेक्शन आता था, जो डाइसिन इंजेक्शन जो है डायरिया के लिए इट वाज वेरी यूजफुल, बंद हो गए। पवन जी थोड़ा सा अगर आप भी अपने यहाँ कुछ अगर चालू करवा सकते हो इंजेक्शन बनवाना तो बहुत ही अच्छा रहेगा।
नहीं, आपके झांसी के पास में ललितपुर में बनाते थे,
ललितपुर बंद करा दिया ना,
सिद्धि
बंद करा
फार्मेसी, वो
दिया।
भी बंद हो गई।
हाँ, एक्चुअली क्या हो रहा है कि एलोपैथिक वाले जो है, एलोपैथिक वालों ने तो इतना आतंक मचा रखा है कि कोविड के लिए आयुर्वेदिक कॉलेज की ओपीडी बंद कर दी। आयुर्वेदिक कॉलेज का हॉस्पिटल उन्होंने कोविड सेंटर बना दिया, परंतु आयुर्वेदिक कॉलेज के प्रिंसिपल से ये नहीं कहा गया कलेक्टर महोदय को कि महाराज हमारी ओपीडी बंद क्यों कर रहे हो आप। मोदी जी तो कार्ड बंटवा रहे हैं और ये ओपीडी बंद करा रहे हैं, लेकिन हमारे हमारे लोग जा नहीं पा रहे, उनके पास कहने के लिए हिम्मत नहीं कर पा रहे। रही बात आयुर्वेद में रिसर्च की, तो अभी मेरे को जब दूरदर्शन पे पूछा गया था कि आयुर्वेद में रिसर्च होते हैं क्या, तो मैंने उनसे एक चीज बताई थी कि परपटी योग, श्वेत परपटी को छोड़कर जितनी भी परपटियां हैं वो कोलोन के अंदर जाके घुलती हैं। इसका मतलब आचार्यों को इस बात का नॉलेज था कि स्टमक का पीएच अलग होता है और कोलोन का पीएच अलग होता है। ये रिसर्च तो हमारे यहाँ शुरू से भाई चरक ने जैसे कह दिया कि एंटी इंफ्लेमेटरी पुनर्नवा है, उसके लिए प्रूव करने के लिए उसने कितने लोगों के ऊपर उस समय विचित्र परिस्थितियों के अंदर खिलाया होगा और तब जाके एक लाइन लिखेगी इट हैज गॉट द एंटी इंफ्लेमेटरी प्रॉपर्टी। रिसर्च हो गया है, सब कुछ हो गया है। मैं तो सर से बिल्कुल सहमत हूं कि हमारे पेटी को दबाने के लिए हमारे ही लोग जिम्मेदार है और कोई नहीं है। सरकार पैसा भी भरपूर दे रही है, काम करने के लिए मौका भी दे रही है। आज तक सबसे बड़ी दुर्भाग्य की बात है, चूंकि मेरे यहाँ मेरा बच्चा एमपीटी न्यूरो है, तो न्यूरो के पेशेंट हम लोग ज्यादा देखते हैं। एक एनाल्जेसिक मेडिसिन आयुर्वेद वाले नहीं बना पाए और एक क्रोसिन जैसी गोली नहीं बना पाए, इतने बड़े बड़े सब काम होने के बाद। मैं गलत तो नहीं कह रहा पवन जी, कुछ ज्यादा तो नहीं बोल गया? एक क्रोसिन की गोली अगर बना ले तो सब उद्धार हो जाए। भाई एंटीबायोटिक जैसे आपको मान के चलिए कि किसी को 105 से ऊपर बुखार उतरा तो चढ़ा कि आपको यू हैव टू लोड पैरासिटामोल। वी डोंट हैव एनी मेडिसिन लाइक पैरासिटामोल as an anti-inflammatory and analgesic properties of the Yogaraj Google is having, but not like Voveran. It is there. तो ऐसी एक कोई रिसर्च के केवल एक ही चीज की रिसर्च अगर हो जावे आयुर्वेद में तो हम वैसी चीज जाए। एंटीबायोटिक की हमारी थ्योरी नहीं है, हमारी बात पे कब की थ्योरी, हमें उसके अंदर सक्सेसफुल है हम। और मोस्ट ऑफ द क्वालिफाइड जेंट्रीज, लाल बत्ती वाले डॉक्टर्स, इवन द एलोपैथिक डॉक्टर्स, peoples are coming to take the treatment for the IBS and the ulcerative colitis to the Ayurvedic doctor. They are searching Ayurvedic doctor. और इतने पेशेंट आते हैं कि मतलब आप भी मानते होंगे, आपको तो सारी चीजें पता लगी जाती होंगी since you are with the pharma line. तो मैं आपसे फिर भी यही कहूंगा कि हमारे सरकार की तरफ से हमको काफी कुछ मिल रहा है, जो भी मिल रहा है उसके अंदर अगर कोई आप जैसे एक आध दो लोग भी और अगर हो जाएं तो कम से कम एक दो दवाइयों के ऊपर ऐसा रिसर्च तैयार हो जाए तो बहुत ही अच्छा रहेगा। इतना ही कहकर मैं अपने वाणी को विराम देना चाहूंगा। अगर और कुछ आपको मुझसे पूछना हो तो वही प्रैक्टिकली क्लिनिकल एक्सपीरियंस के बारे में आप कुछ भी पूछ सकते हैं। आई एम रेडी टू गिव द आंसर्स।
Definitely, we will repeat you in next webinar, sir, in clinical webinars. Today, the focus is on our lacunas. Definitely, सुरेंद्र चौधरी जी, आप, जादव जी, तीनों ने जिस वे में बातें कही हैं, इसमें लगता है कि अभी बहुत कुछ होने की गुंजाइश है।
अरे
मैं
बहुत कुछ
ऑडियंस में से
जी
ऑडियंस में से मैं सुझाव आमंत्रित करूंगा, कोई यदि बोलना चाहे आयुर्वेद के डेवलपमेंट के विषय में, आनंद प्रकाश पांडे जी हैं, जयेश ठक्कर जी हैं।
हेलो हेलो
हाँ
हेलो।
जी,
मैं
हाँ बोलिए जी।
महबूब नगर
हाँ
तेलंगाना
जगदीश,
से बोल रहा हूँ, तेलंगाना से।
हाँ बोलिए जी।
इज इट ऑडिबल?
यस यस।
जस्ट नाउ अपना प्रदीप जी बोल रहे थे कि कोई ऐसा क्रोसिन जैसा टैबलेट बताएं। तो क्रोसिन जैसा टैबलेट बताने से पहले ये दो बात सोचे कि क्या पैरासीटामोल ये सर्वरोग निवारणी जैसा बन गया आज दुनिया में? और ये जो है अपन जो साइड इफेक्ट्स देखे नहीं बिना कंज्यूमर के लाइन में क्या हो रहा है और क्या खा रहे हैं। एक दिन तो मैं पत्रिका में देखा हूँ, डेली पेपर में देखा हूँ, रेगुलर टेकिंग ऑफ पैरासीटामोल causes blood cancer. I am not a allopathic practitioner, but I am a strictly Ayurvedic practitioner right from 1971 till to this date, running 70 years of age. But I don't have graduation or PG like that also. Only I have a diploma in good olden days of BAMS, not even taken to birth. Right from that time. Then just Pradeep ji was citing that. Are the Ayurvedic people would come forward to produce such a medicine like Prosin? I think that I myself have been belittled by my therapy people. If the practitioner is, for example, for your information, I am giving you, one patient has brought little bit to my notice that, sir, Pratap Chauhan, something like that. I don't know also where does he come from. A girl was asking that, doctor, I have got swollen gums, spongy gums, and I have got this trouble and that trouble. That doctor advised to take Jatyadi Thailam. That means how ignorance is there. Is it a right prescription? I am seeing on TV. I am seeing TV. He is MD. Huh? Is it the right medicine? You people are sitting at the helm of the affairs and you are quite audible and you are conducting a debate. If this would have been states, I myself could have filed a petition in the court of law that, come, Dr. Pratap Chauhan, is it the right prescription? Because it is the ignorance of Dr. Pratap Chauhan, though he is MD in Ayurveda. Do we go on criticizing like people? No, I don't have time to criticize people. But I say my direct reply to Pradeep ji, we need not go for Crocin or paracetamol in comparison with, he also cited one another about Overon. Overon, we don't have any side effect like Overon, diclofenac sodiums. Ayurveda doesn't have that much of side effects. Taking Overon rampantly, and the village people, they are coming across, and I am seeing daily that village consumers are there, many who are going for Overon. What does it mean? And one more thing I will bring to your notice, Dr. Pradeep ji, कि यहाँ पर अपन जो पढ़े लिखे आ रहे हैं, लंबे लंबे डिग्री लेके आ रहे हैं, I'll, for your visible and notice, in my town itself, a boy, I say that a boy, he has taken MD in Kaumara Bhrutya, that is pediatrics from BHU. But he doesn't have, I say that ABCD knowledge about pediatrics, which medicine and which medicine works for children. He has got much practice. And his, that means father-in-law, we say, जिसकी बेटी से शादी किया, उसका हॉस्पिटल है, वहाँ है, इनका भी है, पूरा कम्युनिटी मेडिकल सेक्शन में है, लेकिन they are allopathic, and this boy is only from BHU MD in pediatrics. Though he is a government doctor posted at present, he is also
Excellent, 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 Dr. Jagdishwar ji. Excellent. We had conducted. Please sum up. Please sum up.
All these things. And he
Yes.
doesn't have. On one occasion, he had come to me and asking that which medicine works on cold. Right from, I think that he might have not joined by the time to MD in BHU. He completed BAMS and he tried all medicines, and he was telling, just he came to my counter because I have got my counter at town itself, and he asked me. Then I told Lakshmi Vilas Ras Naradiya. Right from that time, taking Dabur Street till to this date, he writes Lakshmi Vilas Ras Naradiya. Other than those, he doesn't have. It is a prescription pad. And what Dr. Pradeep was telling, now I have put a practitioner condition that whosoever comes to consult me first, they should shut down 300 rupees first towards the consultation charges. I don't say fee, because some legally also there are some obstructions that one should not charge a fee of these degree holders and those degree holders like that. But why I have put this condition that if they have to consult me, they have to pay 300 rupees only for new people. And more likely, I hesitate to give treatment to homeopathic consumers, because homeopathic
Right,
means
sir.
I say
Kindly
today in the
conclude.
market, in the market, any alternative is there means to modern medicine, homeopathic. That is why our Ayush people have come forward that in pandemic 19, they have brought out Arsenicum album. Arsenicum album. How many arsenics are there? Do the
Ex-
homeo section?
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. I have to invite other persons also, sir. Please.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Thank you.
you
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you, sir.
Should I conclude my interaction?
Right. Right, sir. Right, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your excellent words, no doubt. Now I would like to request anybody else who want to communicate in short, sir. In short, if anybody want to suggest or communicate the mode of justice, otherwise, I would like to request
Hello.
Dr. Bishnu. Yes, please, please.
I'm with the Rajan Patankar from Mumbai. I want to say only in few words. कैसे है
Yes, yes, yes.
हाँ कि ये जो सब बातें चल रही है कि आयुर्वेद के तरीके से पैरासीटामोल चाहिए या वोवरान चाहिए, तो मेरा ऐसा मानना है कि उसका जो रसविरी विपाक है, जो पैरासीटामोल का देख लिया, वोवरान का देख ले, तो वैसा देख करके आयुर्वेद में जरूर दवाइयाँ है, उसकी खोज होनी चाहिए और उसका यूज भी होना चाहिए, कि जो मेरे ख्याल से नहीं होता है, क्योंकि वात विध्वंस जो है कि अगर अच्छे तरीके से बनाया है तो इट इज मोर एफिशिएंट एंड मोर पावरफुल देन वोवरान और पैरासीटामोल. दैट्स माय ओपिनियन. त्रिभुवन कीर्ति है, बहुत सारी दवाइयाँ है, और मेरे ख्याल से कि वो ये सब बच्चों को सिखाना जरूरी है कि जब भी दे आर इन कॉलेजेस कि बाबा कि इसका रस विपाक देख करके ही ये दवा तुम आप डिजाइन करो, तो उसमें आयुर्वेद में हर एक के लिए देयर इज आंसर. थैंक्स अ लॉट. इतना ही मेरे 2 शब्दों में कहना था.
Excellent, 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 sir. Anybody else from the audience?
प्रणाम सर. डॉक्टर विजय कुमार
Yes.
शिलांग से. प्रणाम सर.
नमस्कार, नमस्कार.
नमस्कार सर. अभी तो डॉक्टर सुरेंद्र चौधरी सर का मैं सुन रहा था, बिल्कुल मंत्रमुग्ध हो गया. मैं तो खो गया था. सब कुछ भूल गया था और कब खत्म हो गया मुझे पता नहीं. कि अरे ये तो खत्म हो गया. सचमुच सारे चीज सारे एस्पेक्ट को बहुत अच्छी तरीके से रखा था. लेकिन अब बात आती है ये जो अभी हो रही है कि लोग कर रहे हैं रिसर्च का. ठीक है, रिसर्च ऑलरेडी सचमुच हमारे महर्षियों ने बहुत अच्छा किया है, लेकिन चूंकि इंटरनेशनल प्लेटफॉर्म पे या साइंटिफिक पैरामीटर पे लाने के लिए ये जरूरत हो जाता है. और रही बात मेडिसिन क्रोसिन की जो कर रहे थे, तो अभी हमारे कई ऐसे मित्र हैं कोविड पीरियड में दवाओं को जरूर क्रोसिन रखा था, लेकिन लिए नहीं कि जब तक इमरजेंसी ना हो 100 2 3 तक ना हो जाए. जैसे मैं था, डॉक्टर आकाश त्रिपाठी, डॉक्टर राहुल जायसवाल, डॉक्टर सर्वेश अग्रवाल, सभी ने ये सफर किए लेकिन लिए नहीं तब तक कि जब तक लिए ही नहीं, लेना नहीं पड़ा. हाँ ये है कि महासुदर्शन गणपति का डोज बढ़ाना पड़ा, तो की जगह 3 बार लेना पड़ा. कंट्रोल हुआ, टाइम से खत्म हुआ. हाँ, एक चीज और है कि जो हम दवाई बनाते हैं, सिंपल से मान लीजिए त्रिफला है, वो कैसी है, उसकी पोटेंसी के सड़ा गला आंवला तो नहीं है, बहेड़ा सड़ा गला तो नहीं, ये देखना बहुत जरूरी है। तो ये क्वालिटी जो मेंटेन होना, ये बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर है हमारी औषधियों पे। तो बस इतना ही जाने, बाकी तो मुझे कुछ कहना नहीं, आप सभी दोनों को सदर हाँ, थैंक यू।
बहुत खूब, बहुत खूब,
जी,
सही बात कही आपने। क्वालिटी ऑफ मेडिसिन पर सब
जी,
कुछ
जी,
डिपेंड करता
जी,
है। बिल्कुल सही बात कही।
पवन जी, मैं बोलूं 2 मिनट?
हाँ, बिल्कुल बिल्कुल मेहता जी, बिल्कुल।
नमस्कार। पहले तो सभी महानुभाव को नमस्कार, और बहुत बढ़िया ऑर्गेनाइज किया सर आपने। अच्छा,
धन्यवाद,
मैं
धन्यवाद जी।
सिर्फ ये बताना चाहता हूँ कि नेशनल मेडिसिनल प्लांट बोर्ड, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ आयुष, उनको 4,000 करोड़ रुपए गए साल सैंक्शन किए गए हैं। वो इसी बात के लिए सैंक्शन किए गए हैं ताकि वो अच्छी जड़ी बूटियाँ कौन से एरिया में जहाँ हो रही है और वहाँ उसको विकसित किया जाए, और उसके बाद अच्छी तरह टेस्ट करके इंडस्ट्री को दी जाए और वैद्य लोग को दी जाए। इसके लिए बहुत जोर शोर से काम चल रहा है पीछे, और हर 3-4 महीने में मीटिंग चल रही है, और कितना इंडस्ट्री कंज्यूम कर रही है उसका डेटा फिलहाल वो लोग कलेक्ट कर रहे हैं, ताकि उनको आइडिया आ जाए कि भाई अश्वगंधा है तो कौन से एरिया में उगाने का है, उसके लिए कौन सी इंडस्ट्री लेगी, और इंडस्ट्री के साथ टाई अप करना, और बाद में वैद्य लोग के साथ, और बाद में बड़े बड़े ट्रेडर लोग के साथ। तो वो काम पीछे चल ही रहा है। तो मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ आयुष को ऑलरेडी आइडिया आ गई है कि कहाँ ये काम अटक रहा है और इंडस्ट्री को क्यों ये करना पड़ रहा है, क्योंकि ट्रेडर लोग भी कभी इसके लिए जिम्मेदार है, और कभी सप्लायर लोग, और कभी फार्मर लोग, और कभी इंडस्ट्री। इसलिए इस पे जोर शोर से काम ऑलरेडी चल रहा है। तो मैं यही आपको बताना चाहता हूँ कि अगले 6 महीने 1-2 साल में बहुत सब कुछ बदल जाएगा, और बहुत इंडस्ट्री ने अपना खुद का कैप्टिव कंजम्पशन भी कर दिया है कि खुद के फार्म लगा दिए हैं, ताकि उनको अभी क्वालिटी देनी है, उनको इंतजार नहीं करना है, इंडस्ट्री चलानी है और अच्छी बढ़िया क्वालिटी कंज्यूमर को पैसे लेके अपने को अच्छी दवाई देनी है। तो बहुत इंडस्ट्री ने खुद के फार्म्स भी लगा दिए और फार्म्स लोग के साथ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट भी कर लिया है। So industry is fully aware what is the problem, and they are working in this in whatever best capacity they can. Thank you, sir.
थैंक यू, थैंक यू, थैंक यू जी, थैंक यू मेहता साहब। एनी अदर एक्सपर्ट प्लीज? मैं वैद्य राजन पटनकर जी को फिर परेशान करूंगा। आपका सूक्ष्म औषधि वाला कंसेप्ट जो है यूनिक, उस पर डेफिनेटली वी विल बी एनलाइटन। वी विल रिक्वेस्ट यू टू एनलाइटन in next webinars. I will contact you definitely, sir.
जरूर, thank you, thanks a lot.
Just now I came to know about your Sukshma Aushadhi. Thank you, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. I will be there for you and for Ayurved anytime.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes,
So I would like to request now to Dr. Vishnu Prasad Sharma ji, ex-principal Guwahati Ayurvedic College and President Vishwa Ayurved Parishad Assam and in charge of Northeastern State. I would like to request our guardian Dr. Vishnu Prasad Sharma ji.
Namaskar.
Swagatam.
Namaskar. Respected Professor Dr. Madan Thangavalu, dear distinguished speaker, learned audience. It was a pleasure listening to such insightful talk on Ayurveda needs justified focus. First of all, I offer my sincere thanks to Dr. P.V.V. Prasad, Director Ayurveda Research, Kolkata, for inaugurating today's webinar. Next, I would like to offer my sincere thanks to the first speaker, Professor Dr. Surendra Chaudhary sir, for his excellent presentation. He has nicely described his talk on today in Injustice to Ayurveda on Justice Day. He clearly described that government has given less salary to the Ayurvedic doctor in different scheme. He vividly described the obstacle to not to develop this Ayurveda. He said Ayurvedic people do not prescribe Ayurvedic medicine. Yes, it is true, most of the doctor, but there are some more reasons are there why they are prescribed. we have to stop the free consultancy. That is, yes, true. So thank you, Professor Dr. Surendra Chaudhary, sir, for your excellent talk. Next, I would like to offer my sincere thanks to Dr. Dr. Bijoy S. Jadhav. Dr. Bijoy S. Jadhav. So Dr. Bijoy S. Jadhav, he said that education, research, and clinical practice. He said that yes, fundamental science should be taught in Ayurvedic college in the first year, and he gave more stress use of technology, proper clinical practice, and regulatory body to see the price of the different Ayurvedic medicine. Thank you, Dr. Bijoy S. Jadhav, for your nice presentation. Next, I would like to offer my sincere thanks to Dr. Pradeep Gotke. He gives stress to do more research. Thank you, Dr. Pradeep Gotke. Next, I would like to offer my sincere thanks to Dr. Pawan Kumar Sharma for organizing very wonderful webinar. And thank you to all. Good night. Namaskar. Hari Om.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hari Om, Hari Om. Good
Hari
night
Om.
to everybody. Good night.
Right, sir. Namaskar, sir.
Namaskar.